One of Earthbound's hardest challenges is collecting every 1 in 128 item. It's difficult to do, not because you need a lot of skill to do it, but the amount of patience you need to actually pull it off. Enemies have different drop rates for items, and there's 25 enemies who have the lowest odds for dropping one. The goal here is to grind for every single one of those items. The first one's in Onet, dropped by local gang member Skaterpunk. He drops a pizza, which is probably why the only pizza shop in Onet's permanently closed. The task at hand seems simple. Find as many Skaterpunks as you can until one of them drops a pizza. But is that really all there is to it? The short answer is no, and the long answer is going to be explained throughout the whole video. But at this time, I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know how the game's RNG worked. Two things are calculated as soon as a battle starts. The enemy in the party that has a chance to drop an item, and the chance for that enemy to drop its item. So in these triple battles, I'm making it harder by essentially having to spin a wheel and then immediately hitting 128 on a random number generator. The biggest issue here is that in the overworld, all these enemies are identical. You'd never know who you're fighting until the battle starts. All things considered, I got lucky getting it as early as I did. Oh, that was it. Okay. That took 152 encounters. Not too bad. Real quick, I just figured out why it looks so bad. It's fixed now. Just the rest of the video will look better. On the way to the first sanctuary, there's these attack slugs that have a chance of dropping a bomb. It's very common to fight it in groups, which helps the odds a little bit, but just because something on the surface seems easier, doesn't mean you're guaranteed to get it earlier. I got close to doing double the amount of encounters I did with the Skaterpunk. Yes! Oh, finally! Oh, wow. That took 301 battles to get. That took so long. I'm out of here. I visited Giant Step and kept moving through the story to end up at Happy Happy Village, a town being run by a cult, with insane cultists who are the next enemy I have to grind. The problem with these guys is that they're temporary enemies. They only appear during this portion of the game, and after you beat their boss, you can't fight anymore. There's 6 enemies who are temporary. The Skaterpunk was also one of them, and before any story progress is made, I have to get their item. Thankfully, that wasn't much of an issue this time. Yes! Oh, that was only 53. That's really good. After saving Paula, I made my way through Threed, Jeff joined the party, and I went up to Grapefruit Falls, where there's 2 more 1 in 128 items here. I went for the Violent Roach first. They're the only enemies in these caves, so I walked in and out of their range to force them to spawn. It's definitely one of the easier ones to do, and it didn't take too long. Oh, yes, that's it. Oh, okay, 81. That was way faster than I thought. 25 minutes. That's not too bad. I wish I could say the same thing for the Plain Crocodile, but it played out so differently than every other one so far. There's a lot of enemies who can spawn in this zone, meaning that if you're walking around looking for a crocodile, there's gonna be plenty times where he just doesn't show up. This is the moment where the whole run changed. To get around constantly searching for the right enemy, I opted to start using save states. There are many ways to play Earthbound, and pretty much every release of it besides the SNES version has save states. So whether you're on the Switch, Wii U, 3DS, or emulation, you could pretty easily save and reload the game to constantly re-roll your chances on these items. It speeds up the process by a lot, but you can't just repeat the same battle over and over since items are determined before the battle starts. At the time, I still didn't fully grasp how the game's RNG worked, so when I set up my save state, it was with a double battle instead of just a plain crocodile. This made the whole process go on for a lot longer than it needed to. Oh my, okay, finally. That was 362. That took quite a long time. Finally able to move on, I defeated a large pile of barf and a large pile of dirt to get to the 3rd sanctuary. Wait, 3rd? Hold up. Oops. Backtracking a whole 2 towns over, I went and got the 2nd sanctuary. Took the bus as far as I could, but we got stuck in traffic, so I explored the desert. I ended up finding $1,000 and figured there's only one financially responsible way to spend it: gambling. This is totally unrelated to the challenge, but hey, go big or go home. I wasn't willing to give up until I hit the jackpot. Oh? Come on. Oh! No way! No way, are you serious? Hell yeah. Gamble until you win. Feeling good about myself, I made it to Fourside. Saw a concert, fought 5 average moles, but the only girl in the party get kidnapped, which brought me to the next 1 in 128 enemy. The Musica's the third temporary enemy so far, so this is the only opportunity in the whole game to fight it. I wanted to make this easier on myself, so I started using something I've been ignoring all along. The scrolling nullification and obliteration technique, also known as Snot. Snot's the best method for getting 128 items. When coming across a large group of enemies, you can walk away and put them off screen, and when you walk back, you've essentially re-rolled the spawns that were there. The real mastery of Snot comes when you could single out an enemy, edging out the rest just enough to make all but your target despawn. In this case, since all the enemies are identical in the overworld, it's impossible to know if it's worked until you're already in battle. So I ended up using save states until I had a single Musica that spawned. I would reload the save state and fight the Musica over and over, usually trying to take a different approach and every once in a while opening menus to scramble the RNG. I thought what I was doing was the right method, and it would just be a matter of time until I got the 1 in 128 item. This ended up being the worst mistake of my run. When I went over odds, I didn't think anything of it since that was pretty normal up to this point. When I went triple over odds, I just thought I wasn't lucky. I kept going, thinking that at any moment it would happen. This went on for an embarrassingly long amount of time. It wasn't until I was well over 1,000 encounters that I knew something was seriously wrong. What I didn't realize was that I wasn't doing enough to change the RNG. Approaching it a different way and occasionally opening a menu will only do so much. I started testing it out and I learned that if I hit the same inputs multiple times, the same exact results would happen every time. Damage output wouldn't change, and I could even replicate smash attacks. I had essentially wasted a lot of time fighting the exact same sets of battles over and over. There was only one thing I could think to do: start pressing every button possible before the battle. I wanted to change up the RNG as much as I could, and the only way I could do that was to get random with it. After enough attempts, it finally happened. Oh my god. Oh, that's it, right? Yeah, oh. Holy. I thought I was gonna go forever without getting it. That was 1,282 encounters. I've been doing this since about 9 in the morning. It's like 5 o'clock right now. Holy shit. All that for a sudden guts pill that I don't even get to use. That's great. Okay, let's move on. After getting to Moonside, there's 2 more enemies here with the item drop. They're not temporary, but it's a lot easier to get them now. I snotted a fire plug, and it only took 62 encounters. Oh, that dude. Okay, I've only been recording a minute and a half. Not too bad, but being way under odds, I expected it to take a lot longer with the dolly clock. What? No way. What? That was number 8. I actually can't believe that. I'm already done with Moonside. But before we move on, there's a lot of story to get through. I rescued Paula, flew to Winters for the Force Sanctuary, who joined the party. We went to Magna Hill and Pink Cloud, who left the party, but that's okay because we got a way cooler party member now. We lost him too. Bought some more barf and we're back in Winters. After singling out a whirling robo, I managed to get it in a spot where it was stuck, unable to attack until I approached it. I set up a save state and made sure to play around with the menus in a different way every time. Oh. There we go. That's 131. Okay. That's roughly on odds. It's really not too bad. Now, that's a good start. But what are the hardest parts of the runs coming up? Inside the Stonehenge base are 3 1 in 128 items, and all of these enemies are temporary, so either I get them now or I fail the challenge. I made my way through the base, and once I had a Starman by himself, I tried to mentally prepare myself to be here for hours. Oh! No! What? Are you serious right now? That was number 4. What? I'm still in shock with how fast I got that, but I quickly moved on to get the first item that's actually worth grinding for. The Starman Super drops Pooh's ultimate weapon, the Sword of Kings, and it'll be the only item I've gotten so far that I'm actually gonna use. It was during this encounter that I started to perfect my strategy. Instead of reloading my save state and pressing a random assortment of buttons, I started keeping track of every button press. On the first encounter, no button presses. On the second, just press it once. And for every new encounter was an additional button press. That's enough RNG manipulation to give you different results every time. I'd optimize the encounters as much as I could. But just because I did that, that doesn't automatically make it easier. Let's go. Finally. Okay, that was 184. Maybe took an hour at most. Like, really, not a bad run. With only one item in the base left, I singled out a military Octobot and kept using the same strategy. Oh! Oh, no way. Oh my gosh. Okay. 137. Cool. Alright, let's keep moving on. And after that, that's every temporary enemy done. I'm gonna try to finish most of the story before hunting any more items. After freeing everyone from alien jail and converting a whole village into extroverts, I made my way through Lumine Hall, where there's 3 more 1 in 128 items. Like I just said, I didn't plan on getting these till much later on. But when it comes to RNG, you don't get any say in what happens. Oh, no. No shot. No shot. That was the first one. Are you shitting me? Okay. Cool. Now, that's some insane luck, and I couldn't be happier since that's one less item to grind for. I tried to move on and look for the exit, but I got lost since every room in this cave looks exactly the same. I was fighting all the enemies I saw along the way, and in a random battle, this happened. Oh, no way. Nuh-uh, wait, what? I was just going through Lumine Hall again. But that was number 10. I wasn't even trying to grind for it. What the okay. After accidentally getting Jeff's best weapon in the game, I finally found the way out, visiting the 7th Sanctuary and heading towards the 8th. And after all this time, I finally made it. Now, I absolutely adore Magican. It's a bizarre conglomeration of Ness's memories and imagination. But unfortunately, there's not a single 1 in 128 item here. So I'll skip to the end. Beating Ness's nightmare is so important for this challenge. It's the main reason I've been skipping over most permanent enemies. The stat boost you get from this fight is ridiculous. But if you're already level 99, you don't get anything. And now that I've completed most of the main story, there's nothing stopping me from backtracking and getting everything I missed. I'm basically at the end of the game, and there's still 11 items I need to get. All the way back in Peaceful Rest Valley is the Territorial Oak. It explodes when defeated, making it a hassle to fight in the early game. But if you come back late in the story, you should be able to insta-kill it. Ooh, yes. There we go. That's 58. That's pretty good. That's the 3rd PSI caramel so far, and it just gets sent straight to the Escargot Express. Why am I doing this to myself? I don't know. Moving on. You can find the Smiling Sphere in Dusty Dunes Desert. It also explodes, so I skipped it for the same reason. There it is. Heck yeah, okay, 91. I'll take anything that's under odds. In either Force Out or Summers, there's the Mad Taxi, which drops the Exterminator Spray. Why a taxi dropping Bug Spray has the same drop rate as the ultimate equipment is beyond me. The spray only does 200 damage to bugs specifically. There's not that many bug enemies in the whole game, and by the time you're in Summers, you can easily do that much damage. Okay, wait, sorry. These items are really starting to get to me. Oh, no way. Oh, that was 30. Oh, that took like 7 minutes. Oh, that's so free. Back in Winters, the Mighty Bear 7 drops a Super Plush Bear. I appreciate that since this is one of the few items that correlates with the enemy dropping it. There's so few of those that I can't complain when it happens. Let's go. 55. I'm getting low rolls today. I've had a pretty good luck streak. The last 6 have all been under odds, but nothing could have prepared me for the Manly Fish's brother. This is, without a doubt, the toughest foe to garner an item from. And I'm not making that up for dramatic effect. That's a direct quote from the walkthrough for this challenge. He's already a rare enemy, and you'll only ever see him with a partner in battle, essentially doubling the odds since you have to win a coin flip on which enemy even gets the chance to drop their item. It happened. 270, and we got it. Fucking yes. Finishing out Lumine Hall was the Conducting Spirit. At this point, I could insta-kill it, making it one of the easier grinds so far. No way. That was number 51. It's pretty fast. However, I can't say the same for the Chompasaur. With the combination of being immune to insta-kills and its physical shield, it makes this enemy the most tedious fight in the challenge. Yes! Let's fucking go. 79. That's pretty good. I'm getting really lucky lately. This next enemy is basically a repeat of the manly fish's brother. The major psychic psycho almost always travels with a friend. So with basically double the odds of getting the star pendant, this is supposed to be one of the most intense grinds in the whole challenge. What? What? Are you kidding me? That was number 7. I grinded 4 enemies. What? And with that, there's only 3 enemies left. Finally able to progress in the story, Onette's been invaded, and 2 of the last 1-on-128 enemies are here. It's pretty difficult to get these enemies alone, but it's especially necessary here, specifically when it comes to the Evil Eye and Mechanical Octobot. We're hunting the 1-on-128 item from the Mechanical Octobot, which is a Meteotite, but the Evil Eye has a 1 in 16 chance of dropping the same item. You cannot prove that you beat this challenge if you fight an Evil Eye and an Octobot at the same time. There's no way to distinguish who the drop comes from, so even if you happen to get lucky, you can't guarantee you got it from the right enemy. Let's go! 104. Still under odds. I am so happy about that. We're not done yet. I managed to single out a Ghost of Starman, and I did not stop until I got the Goddess Ribbon. Oh my. 74. We got it. That's the second to last one. There's only one left. I started to wrap my mind around the fact that I'm almost done with this challenge. At this point, I spent 35 hours grinding for 24 different items. I've had over 3,500 encounters, my sleep schedule's in shambles, and holy crap, I've been abusing save states because I'm not even level 99. Let me just... There we go. There's only one item left, and once you leave to get it, there's no coming back. We put our souls into our robot before it was cool, and traveled back to the past where we could find the final enemy. The Bionic Kraken is one of the rarest spawns in the game. You'll have to use Snot to try and make one spawn, and just trying to get one to appear took me 15 minutes. Eventually I was able to get one, and now it's time to grind for the final 1-in-128 item. This is number 200. Can I get it? Will I get it? I probably won't get it. Let's find out right now. Oh! No fucking way. Wait, hold up. Nah. Really? That's it. That's the last one. 200. Oh my god, I'm so tired. And there you have it. That's the 1-in-128 challenge experience for you. The epic highs and lows of Earthbound, the torture of constant grinding, and the bliss of getting it first try. After beating the scary face baby silhouette nightmare monster, the party goes our separate ways. To my disappointment, the S-Cargo Express shuts down after you beat Gygus. So you can see here that I have most of the items, and then just imagine the gutsy bets right there. I want to share my thoughts on this whole experience, but let me start off with saying that you should never attempt this. 1 out of 128 may not sound like that low of odds, but it's less than a 1% chance of getting the item. And that's only if it's a solo battle. With any other enemies, you're essentially doubling or tripling the odds of it happening. And there's no reason why most of these items have to have the rarest drop rate. You can buy most of them. Why a pizza is just as rare as the Sword of Kings doesn't make sense. Meteoriums and Meteotites make up almost 25% of rare item drops. And those are items that you're supposed to sell for money. If you're already grinding battles for a rare item, then these items are a drop in the bucket. You don't need them. And to be honest, you don't need any of these items. They might make a normal playthrough a little easier, but it's not like Earthbound's a hard game. These items are meant to be more of a rare bonus than something you should strive to get. The ultimate equipment should be the only things you even consider grinding for. They're still unreasonable to go for since you can buy or find equipment that's basically just as good. But if you want the best loadout for your characters, good luck with that since you're gonna have to get the star pendant 3 times. These items are essentially glorified trophies for completionists. They're cool to have, but don't waste your time on it. If you still want to do this, just do what I did, because I basically cheated. fast forwarding through the battles, using save states, and manipulating the RNG to get the items. The method I used feels less like a random chance of getting the item. I'd say it's more like looking for the right frame where the item appears. I don't really have a problem with that though, because it still took me 40 hours to finish this challenge. Without my method, it could have easily taken more than 60. There's no prize for that. You've just wasted more time on an arbitrary goal that doesn't mean anything. All that being said, I weirdly enjoyed this challenge. Earthbound's one of my favorite games of all time. I knew how big of a commitment this was going to be, and if I had serious issues with what I was doing, I wouldn't have done it in the first place. And this challenge gave me the opportunity to learn more about a game that I've been playing for the last 16 years. It's pretty cool to revisit the things you grew up with and still be able to have a completely unique experience with them. And that's pretty much it. It was a lot to get through, but I'm happy I did it.